This program is sponsored by Imagine Theaters, Able Ideas, Comic City, and Echo Network.
Hey geeks, welcome to another episode of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. Hope you guys are enjoying your summer. We're going to heat things up this week. Nick, what do you got for us?
Well, we have special guest correspondent Dominic, who was at Astronomicon, and he spoke to Tyler Main and Bill Moseley.
Hi, I'm Dominic Reggio from Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. We are here at Astronomicon 2018. I am joined by Bill Moseley and Tyler Main. What is your, what's a memory that sticks out? What's something that was a weird fan or something wild that happened that comes to mind? You guys have anything for me?
I was in Joe Dirt and a person was eating an apple core and they said, hey, could you sign this apple core for me? Because that's what my character does but yeah, I mean, you just come across some very fanatical fans
Yes.
that it's interesting, you know, but it's a great way to meet the fans and most of them are pretty cool.
I was at a convention a long time ago called RealmsCon in Corpus Christi, Texas. We were in an old hotel. It had two elevators, and both elevators had a floor plate right where the door opens. There was a floor, like a brass floor plate, and it said Otis, you know, in both of the elevators. They were Otis elevators. That was my character from House of Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. And one morning I came down to breakfast, and the door opened, and I looked down, and there somebody had poured blood on the name Otis, or somehow it had dripped on the name, and I thought, isn't that funny? And I had my breakfast, went upstairs with the other elevator, and that too had blood dripped on Otis. The day ended, I went up to my room, and the phone rang, and it was a purring female voice. I don't know if it was purring, but it said, and this was a woman who apparently had been pouring the blood on Otis. She said, "I'm your stalker." And I said, it's late, stalk me tomorrow. That was the end of the story. Not that exciting.
Well, thank you, Bill and Tyler. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed our tales of bloody elevators and apple cores here with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
Thank you, Dom. Nice job. What do we have next, Jill?
We're going to go over to Mark and see what he's got with this week's new movie releases.
All right.
Coming out this week, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stars in a Die-Hard-esque action thriller, Skyscraper. Johnson plays an FBI hostage rescue team leader who assesses security for skyscrapers. When his family is trapped in a fiery inferno in a building, he must try to save them.
This building is protecting something that I want.
You're going to get it for me. Anything can be done with the proper motivation.
Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
And also coming out is Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation. Blah, blah, blah. Mavis surprises Dracula with a family voyage on a luxury monster cruise ship. Unbeknownst to Dracula, the captain is a descendant of his arch-enemy, Van Helsing.
There is something about that woman I don't trust.
The food here is to die for.
Must have been garlic in the guacamole.
Isn't that deadly for you?
Was that you? Oh no, Blobby's gonna puke.
And coming out this October is the first Spider-Man spin-off, Venom. When Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, acquires the powers of the symbiote, he will have to release his alter ego Venom to save his life.
The way I see it, we can do whatever we want. Do we have a deal?
Are you willing to sacrifice the one thing you hold most dear? You should be extremely afraid.
What the hell are you? We are Venom.
I smell smoke. And I'm on the 50th floor of this building. I have to get out of here.
Well, guys, it's time for our first commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
The magic of movies and more isn't just our tagline. We believe in its truth. A movie theater auditorium where wonderful stories unfold is a magical place. Whether a 2-hour film, a 3-hour epic, or merely the anticipation of viewing trailers, your every viewing experience is very important to us. Imagine's a pure Michigan company, founded and operated by Michigan natives. And moviegoers like you aren't just customers, you're our guests. So when it comes to moviegoing, we know you have a choice. And on behalf of our entire team, thank you for choosing Imagine.
Welcome back to Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, everybody. Jill, what does Samantha have for us in video games?
Well, she's going to show us some first-person shooters.
Hi guys, this is Samantha with Comics Beer and Sci-Fi, and this week we're going to talk about some sequels scheduled to come out this October. First up is Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Can't wait to pick up this one.
Copy that, 113. One shot if you ain't ready to die. Never get it up. I got shooters for hire. Cause you don't want it.
Marking targets.
Better back the back done, so I ain't trying.
Sensor going live.
I know you heard me. Feel like I'm going crazy. It's murder.
Heels coming.
Eat this!
Next up is one of my favorite war games, Battlefield 5.
Find cover! Bloody move! Give me first aid! Oh, sorry! Hello, old friend. Yeah!
Here we go! That's it for this week. See you next time. This has been Samantha with Comics Beer and Sci-Fi. Happy gaming.
Well, now let's head over to Q with this week's TV picks.
This is the Q from Comics Beer and Sci-Fi, and this week we're going to talk about what I want to talk about. But before we do that, I'm going to mention Manifest. Some people are calling it a reverse Lost. This time, the survivors actually made it home after being stuck somewhere.
One little decision can ruin your life, but also save it. Excuse me, what exactly is the problem?
The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is you've all been missing, presumed dead for 5.5 years.
And the next thing we're going to talk about is what I want to talk about. DC streaming service. It's going to have great shows like Titan and Young Justice Season 3 and Swamp Thing. Come on now, you can't beat that.
What are you talking about?
I wouldn't miss this for anything. do this. I think I'm gonna like it here.
I'll take it. Everything you need's in here.
Don't you just love a happy ending?
Just follow my lead.
What more could anyone ask?
This is one subscription service that I will definitely be buying. This has been the Q from Congressman SciFi talking about what I wanted to talk about.
Wow, thanks, Q.
Fans are going to be an XDC.
Do you even know what DC stands for?
Why, yes, it stands for Detective Comics, but did you know that it was originally National...
We're going to go to our next commercial break. Stick around, we'll be back with more Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. Stop what you're doing and come check out how we do things here at Able Ideas Comic Book Production Company. There we got your attention. Now go to our YouTube channel to subscribe and follow us on social media. Stay tuned for our uncensored DVD coming soon. And for more information, follow us at ableideas.com where your ideas come to life. Hey geeks, welcome back to Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
We're going to go over to the broadcast now, who talked to an old friend you might recognize.
Hey, it's the broadcast, and I am here with Shannon Long. I know you've seen her in series past, but Shannon, what have you been doing?
Causing trouble.
As only you can do.
Causing trouble with beer. So
That is the best trouble to be made.
Exactly. I don't know if you knew, but I export beer all over the world. So
I did know that, but I didn't realize in saying that out loud that you must travel abroad to find the places that want to buy Michigan brews.
Well, I usually send the beer there and then meet it on the other side.
Oh, okay. Very good.
In some cases. So in the last couple months, I've been to the Dominican Republic, Spain, up to Canada, Toronto.
The beer takes a slow boat and you take a plane.
Yes. Sometimes the beer will take a plane too.
Oh,
we'll send a lot of beer via air freight over to the UK, which is pretty
nice.
Pretty crazy. It gets
Okay.
there in like a couple days. We usually do that with really hoppy beers. So the ones that you want to drink, within 14 days of packaging.
What kind of beers here are best liked over there?
Great question. It really depends on the country. I work with about 40 different craft breweries all over the United States. I would say about half of them are based in the Midwest. And we have anything, every beer style you could imagine. All over the world, IPAs are always hot. Everyone always loves a good IPA. And sours. A lot of people are jumping onto sours now. And then there's just kind of your mainstays, your ambers and your browns that are always going to sell, and some of those fruited beers. So.
Do you get a lot of requests? Are there countries out there clamoring for U.S. craft beer?
Definitely. All around the world, I think a lot of people really respect our beer now versus before it was Budweiser, Bud Light, and it maybe wasn't that respected. But right now, I export a lot of beer to Canada, our friends up north.
That's really surprising.
A lot of beer to the U.K., and a lot of beer to Spain. Those are some of my hottest markets. And then I also export beer to Russia, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, Portugal, Malaysia, Taiwan, China, South Korea. So
That's
all over the
insane.
place.
Thank you, Brad. Great to see you again, Shannon.
Yeah, miss you, girl. Well, now we're going to go over to Casey, who went to one of his favorite comic book stores and got a chance to talk to the owner. Check it out.
Hey, Comic Book Geeks, Comic Book Casey coming at you this time. I am in the Cornerstone Comic Book Store of the area. How long has it been here?
We've been here since 1974, so we're the oldest comic book store in New England, and I think one of the oldest comic book stores left standing in the U.S. right now.
He is actually a Harvard alumni, which is in walking distance of this store. He was a student coming here, working a little bit, buying a little bit, and now, boom, you own it.
Yeah, I started working here when I was an undergraduate. It was a good part-time job. And the guy who hired me, Rich Titus, the day he hired me said, I gotta warn you, this place is a trap. Once you get in, it's really hard to get out. And here I am 35 years later and I'm still here, so.
And I'm sure you have a lot of regular customers that probably blow at least a couple $100 on a weekly basis.
Yeah. It's interesting sort of seeing the graying of that part of my customer base. What we've tried to work hard on the last 5 to 10 years is bringing a lot more women into the store. But I think we've always had a great female following. And also just bring a lot of kids in, because there are a ton of wonderful graphic novels for kids now that I think is going to create a strong future generation of comic book fans.
Do you see an increase in sales since the popularity of comics have grown in TV and movies?
I haven't really noticed that the superhero stuff for us drives sales of superhero books. Sort of the diversity movement at Marvel created an entire new generation of fans. Reading Squirrel Girl, Ms. Marvel, America, books like that. Ta-Nehisi Coates taking over Black Panther, boom, suddenly that was the #1 selling Marvel book. And actually for us, that's #1 and Ms. Marvel's #2. So that kind of stuff drove sales for us a lot better than just the latest big movie.
Okay, well, again, man, thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks for bringing the whole crew.
My pleasure.
Brighten up my weekend.
I'm going to borrow some money from them so I can buy some stuff from you.
All right.
Thank you, Casey.
Well, now let's go to Joe at the Redford Theater. Check out our Hollywood Car Minute.
Thanks, guys. Joe Johnson here at the Redford Theater with Eric Modulewski. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, back in 1977, a movie came out, Smokey and the Bandit. Second highest grossing movie in 1977, behind a little sci-fi movie called Star Wars. It outgrossed Close Encounters. It outgrossed 007 in The Spy Who Loved Me. And it cemented Burt Reynolds' status as one of the biggest movie stars in the world. And it also turned 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am into an overnight sensation. And Eric brought his replica here with him today as they screened Smokey and the Bandit at the Redford Theater. Eric, tell me how and when this car came into your possession.
Well, I bought the car in 2006 when I wanted to build my childhood dream car. And I've loved this car since I was 3 years old, sitting on the floor watching it in Mom and Dad's house. And the car started as a silver 1981 Trans Am, and we built the Bandit out of it. We changed the nose, we changed the tail end, which is a lot of work. When I bought the graphics from Phoenix Graphics, they sent them out to me, and I had to find someone to put them on. So I got the same guy that put the graphics on the 3 cars used in the movie to do this one. So that's a special connection to the movie.
So about how long did it take you from start to finish?
6 years. Took me from 2006 to 2012, and what was really cool about it is my wife really gave me a push on it to finish it right before our wedding. We got married at our house, and we had the car right on the front lawn for the wedding, and we got really good pictures of my wife in the wedding gown laying on the hood as the runaway bride.
I imagine you take it out to car shows and things like that. What kind of reactions do you get from people?
Oh, I love it. The reactions are amazing. People come up to it, always taking pictures of it. Hey, can I sit in it and whatnot? I always let kids sit in it. It's a car. They're not going to really hurt anything. There's something special about a movie car. You can have a classic car of any type of whatever going into any type of car show. You pull in with a movie car, and it is something special.
Thanks for bringing it out.
You bet.
Really appreciate it. From the Redford Theater, I'm Joe Johnson for Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
What do you mean you never saw Smokey and the Bandit?
Wasn't even born yet.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Joe. We'll be right back with more Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
The magic of movies and more isn't just our tagline. We believe in its truth. A movie theater auditorium where wonderful stories unfold is a magical place. Whether a 2-hour film, a 3-hour epic, or merely the anticipation of viewing trailers, your every viewing experience is very important to us. Imagine's a pure Michigan company, founded and operated by Michigan natives. And moviegoers like you aren't just customers, you're our guests. So when it comes to moviegoing, we know you have a choice. And on behalf of our entire team, thank you for choosing Imagine.
Welcome back to Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, everybody. Well, Jill, it's time for the cosplay segment.
Yay!
With Richie. Sorry.
This is Richie Rollins with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, and I'm standing next to a cosplayer here. Which one are you? You Lou Gehrig?
Negan from The Walking Dead.
Negan, a Walking Dead?
Walking Dead, yep.
How does the dead walk?
Very carefully. Very carefully, and using their brain.
Oh, all right, so I think I might have a little knowledge of what you're talking about. You like to bust watermelons open with your bat, right?
You can call them watermelons, yeah.
And how long have you been dressing as Negan?
This is the first year, but I think I'm going to continue it after this. I seem to have gotten the hair and the look down for it, so hopefully it'll play out. So.
I see. Chicks dig it.
So far.
All right. I know the truth behind all this cosplay. All right, do you go around bashing people's heads in with that?
It's just plastic. But I guess I could do a little bump.
I think you're cheating there, man, if you just went out and bought plastic.
Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit, but just this.
Okay, next year we want to see more work put into it. An actual Louisville Slugger, some actual barbed wire.
They may not let me in, but I'll try and force myself.
You just start hitting people over the head, right? You just start going eeny, meeny, miny.
Exactly. Shut the shit down.
In closing, why don't you give us your favorite Walking Dead line?
Not cool. Not cool.
No, really. Why don't you give us a line that you really like from the show?
That's on the spot. I guess I'll just shut that down. No exceptions.
No, really. Like something really from the show.
It's from the show.
Really? That sounds like a Public Enemy song.
Oh, that's from the show.
Alrighty. Well, this is Richie from Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi standing next to Negan, who has a Rawlings bat. I don't know. Not many home runs are hit with Rawlings.
I think I cheated.
Well, now we're going to go back to the Motor City Comic Con where Nick got a chance to talk to a very special guest.
As everyone knows, Margot Kidder was supposed to appear here. She appeared here a few years ago, and I did get to meet her and talk to her and get her autograph, and she was wonderful. But her personal appearance manager, Derek Mackey, is here with us, manning her booth, raising money for her charity. How do you feel being here?
Well, I'm not happy. I mean, I wasn't just her appearance manager. I was one of her dearest friends. And I've traveled all around the world with her, so it's very bittersweet for me. But I'm here for her, so it's all good.
And that's exactly what I was sort of asking about is are you happy to still be here representing her, even though she obviously isn't here?
Well, by all means. She meant the world to so many people, and she was a wonderful human being, very comical, adventurous, just so giving and warm. And I'm happy that we're collecting donations for her charity today, which is, you know, it gives us a good reason to be here and honor her memory by raising money for her charity. So.
And tell us a bit about her charity.
Oh, absolutely. Margot lived in a little town called Livingston, Montana, and there was an animal shelter there that she actually got some of her own rescue dogs from, and she was very adamant with helping to raise money for them whenever she was out at conventions.
Derek, how long did Margot do the convention circuit?
Well, I think she was probably doing it about 3 to 5 years maybe before she met me.
Okay.
And oddly enough, she met me at an event where I was with some other clients. And the promoter of that particular show just kind of had her thrown to the side, and no one was helping her with her pictures. And I was sitting across the way going, oh my God, it's Lois Lane, and she's there by herself. So I went over and introduced myself to her. And from that moment on, she became my client, and she was with us for 11 years. And after that day, she never went anywhere for these types of things without us, because we blew her mind at that event, and it was a great honor to serve her. So.
And how did she enjoy coming to these conventions?
Oh, she loved it. She absolutely loved it. One of her favorite parts was having small children come to her table. She really loved kids. And she would engage them. She would talk to them one-on-one. And if their parents tried to interrupt, she would look at their parents and say, no, I'm talking to them. She loved watching the costumes. She used to have me take pictures on my cell phone and email them to her so she could go back and remember them. We went to London, Mexico, Chile, Canada, all across the United States with her. She loved all of it, all the fans, every country. She was so proud to shake everyone's hands, take pictures with everybody. She's just an amazing human being.
And now it's time for the home video segment with Richie.
Again.
Finally, you've come to the best part of the show. That's me. And this week, I bring you The Rock and Rampage. This action flick is based on a classic video game where giant animals are destroying the city, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson once again has to save the day.
Project Rampage works.
You got another one of your little science experiments running around. What do you mean another one? Of course, the wolf flies.
Stop me. Oh, somebody stop me. Stop me. Stop me. Please, somebody stop me. Stop me. Stop me. Oh, somebody stop me.
It's time we throw everything we can at these things and get people the hell out of that city.
Let's go save the world. That's a big arm. Don't fight it.
You know there are other ways of dealing with people, right?
I do know that, yeah, but that's no fun. George? You okay? Ready to do this, buddy?
Next up is A Quiet Place, a terrifying thriller about a family who's on the run from aliens who hunt by sound. Uh-oh. Shh. That's it for this week. Be sure to catch us next time. Whoa!
Thanks, Richie.
Well, that does it for another episode of Comic...
Why are you guys always making fun of me?
Richie, you know we only make fun of the ones we love.
Oh, you guys love me a lot then.
Yeah, we should.
Don't think about it.
Do. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, and more Richie.